Good afternoon, and thank you very much for staying for this penultimate session, which is always the difficult one to try and keep people at. So it's great to have you all here. And thank you very much for the introduction, which is great. Entrepreneurship has often been considered a critical factor in driving economic growth. Whether that is as a mature economy such as the UK, or high growth areas like the Middle East, these are great challenges for everybody. In a report published recently by Shopify and Deloitte, UK entrepreneurs were found to have contributed 14.3 billion to GDP in 2022, growing exports by 8% in the past year, and supporting 78,000 jobs. The report then went on to state that the success of entrepreneurial ecosystems in an economy is dependent on factors such as the availability of startup financing, the accessibility of incubators and other startup hubs, and a regulatory environment that helps to facilitate the creation of new businesses. Culture also has something to do with it. A society in which entrepreneurship is valued and where young people are encouraged to see it as an attractive career path is more likely to succeed than one in which is more risk adverse. Well, we have this afternoon 4 panelists who will each talk about entrepreneurs, how to attract entrepreneurs, how to get people there, how to basically make it all work. And I'm going to start with the very first one. Is a lady called Lolade Onabolu. She's the Senior Program Director at the Home Office. And she's going to talk, she's responsible for the Immigration Systems Program and the head of the Electronic Travel Bureau. So without more ado, I will pass over to you.
Thank you. Good. Good afternoon, everyone. Slightly, I said my name is Lolade Onabolu. I'm a director within the Home Office, and my day job is trying to transform the UK borders into one that is digital, person-centric, and data-driven. But before I tell you more about what to summarize, we've got a video which I think will tell you the vision in a lot more succinct way than I can ever hope to say in many words. So if you can perhaps play that video now.
Each year, UK Border Force processes nearly 150 million arrivals at our border, and we expect this number will continue to increase year on year. To manage these rising passenger volumes and prioritise public protection, we are transforming our borders by moving to an increasingly digital and automated system. Our travel requirements will also be changing. By the end of 2024, anyone wishing to visit or transit through the UK, except for British and Irish nationals, will require permission to travel. This means someone who was previously eligible to visit or transit through the UK without a visa will now need to apply for an electronic travel authorization, or ETA. Once granted, an ETA will be valid for multiple journeys over 2 years. Anyone who requires a visa to travel will still need to apply for one, but will be issued with an e-visa. Those people who hold any other legal immigration status will use this as their permission to travel. E-visas and ETAs will be linked to the holder's passport or other eligible travel documents. When travelling to the UK, passengers will provide their passport or other travel document details to their carrier, who will submit the information to the Home Office. Carriers will then receive a message from the Home Office confirming whether a person has permission to travel or not. This will help carriers meet their obligations under the UK Carriers Liability Scheme. Carriers will still need to confirm the validity of the passenger's travel document. Passengers who do not have permission will be prevented from travelling to the UK for either immigration or security reasons. When arriving in the UK, our ambition is that most passengers will be able to use automated entry, including contactless facial recognition technologies, to confirm their identity and status, enabling them to pass through without the need to see an officer. Alongside wider changes, this will transform the experience of those crossing the border whilst ensuring security remains the priority. We've already made it possible for families with children aged 10 or above to use automated gates. Families with younger children and those who cannot use e-gates will still present to the primary control point, but we will introduce similar facial recognition technologies to simplify the process and assist Border Force officers. The increased use of automation means Border Force officers will have more time to focus on those passengers who pose the most harm or are at the most risk. Transforming our borders means a more secure and efficient border experience for international travellers, cementing the UK as a world leader in the field of security. And we will continue to uphold our country's reputation as a safe and welcoming place to visit, work or study.
Thank you. I do hope that video was informative and it summarizes whatever I may want to tell you in a much, hopefully, graphical way. Just to recap, our vision is to transform the borders to deliver a fully digital end-to-end customer experience from the way people apply, how they prove their identity, how they receive and prove their status, how they cross the border, and how they demonstrate their entitlements in the UK. We are, after all, living in a digital age with online shopping, online banking, etc. And it is our priority that the UK immigration system adapts by going digital to improve our services and increase convenience for our users. A key principle of that vision, of our digital vision, is what we call our universal permission to travel. This basically will increase our knowledge about those seeking to come to the UK, which will not only strengthen our ability to prevent the arrival of those who pose a threat to the country, but it will also allow us to deliver a more targeted approach to border control on arrival, thereby improving the processing of arriving passengers. The ETA scheme, which mentioned on there, is a key component of that universal permission to travel, as it will enable us to get that advanced knowledge of who is traveling, especially from non-visa nationals, i.e. those who currently can come into the country on short-term visas without any form of permission. As you may well be aware, we did launch ETA on the 25th of October with Qatari nationals, and that has been going quite well. And on the 15th of November, following the visa lift, the ETA travel window opened for Qatari nationals, and they now can travel into the UK as an ETA without a need for electronic visa waiver, which is what they used to have. The launch and the implementation, as I said, has gone very well, and the feedback has been very encouraging. We are continuing with the rolling out of the ETA. We did say we are going to start with the Gulf states and Jordan. We started with Qatar to start small, prove the process, and then go to the rest of the Gulf states. So I'm really pleased to kind of confirm that we are proceeding with the rollout of ETA to the rest of the Gulf states and Jordan, like I said. So from 1st February 2024, nationals of Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, United Arab Emirates, and Jordan will be able to apply for the ETA scheme, and the travel window will open to them from the 22nd February. We will then roll out the ETA scheme worldwide to the rest of the non-visa nationals throughout 2024. The exact order and the details of that rollout we will confirm very, very shortly. As explained in the video, we are continuing the work to improve the passenger journey through further automation of the border through 2024, 2025, and beyond, becoming more data-driven, intelligence-led, delivering a modern, digitized, and more customer-focused service. What this practically, at the end of the day, what it means is that people traveling to the UK will have a more positive experience at every stage of their journey. It will improve the flow of passengers and strengthen border security, whilst at the same time promoting UK as a top destination for tourism and business passengers. Thank you.
I'd now like to introduce Ayman Al Awadhi, the Group Managing Director of the Corporate Group, which is a Dubai-based business, and it's an advisory firm.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm very delighted to be here today to explain and give you an information pitch about UAE ecosystem for entrepreneurship. My name is Ayman Al Awadhi. I'm from the corporate group, and we provide we attract foreign direct investments of startups and corporates into UAE and give them access to the GCC market. Recently, a few weeks ago, UAE government has released economic principles in which it's defining the economy outlook of the UAE for the next 10 years to achieve its economic growth. First principle, it's a globally open, free market economy. What does that mean? It means that the supply and the demand are meeting to regulate the production and labor with minimal government intervention. The UAE attracts top talent through programs such as Golden Visa, which has been started since last 3 years, attracting professions and students all over the world. Investing in the digital economy, UAE has started its digital transformation project since 20 years ago, completing phase 1, which is digitalizing the government services, and now they are focusing on digitalizing the aspects of life in UAE. To develop and create opportunities for its youth. This is indeed, it's happening as of 2016 by building robust economy, cultivating the entrepreneurship and building the ecosystem for startups, along with advancement of science and technology to be used in new business sectors such as space. Manages a sustainable and balanced economy. Here, the UAE is focusing on net zero strategy for 2050 to achieve that target, and COP28, it's around the corner. So therefore, the sustainability is a strategic point of the UAE government. Offers a strong and stable financial system. UAE has more than 50 banks operating in different jurisdictions in the mainland and in the free zones. And when it comes into the free zones, we have the DIFC and ADGM free zones to regulate financial services. So therefore, a wide range of civil law and common law being exercised in these jurisdictions. Strong and fair legislative environment. As a matter of fact, UAE in last 3 years has passed number of legislations considered double size than what has achieved in last 10 years. And this gives you a significant picture in terms of what UAE has done in terms of passing the legislations. And as of today, there is around 926 federal decree being active and it's in operation. Supports transparency and the rule of law through corporate tax and through data protection law in order to harmonize with the laws around the region, especially in the West world. The UAE's businesses are supported by a stronger banking sector. And that is true because 6 major banks of UAE are supporting businesses through green financing valued at 42 billion British pound. UAE offers the world's finest transport and logistics infrastructure. As a matter of fact, UAE has been ranked #1 in the MENA region when it comes to quality infrastructure, and globally ranked as top 10 in the world. Coming down to a smaller window, which is Dubai Economic Agenda 2030, D33, which is extracted from the economic principles. A key goal here is to double size the economy of Dubai over the next decade to position itself in top 3 global cities through 100 transformation projects packaged in different phases. And the first package is addressing the following details. Doubling size of Dubai foreign trade by adding 400 cities to Dubai's foreign trade map, and that's can be very much seen throughout Dubai Chamber expansion globally. They are hitting the target of 50 offices in next 2 years. Launching a scale-up program for 30 companies to become global unicorns in the new economic sectors. These businesses, obviously, they are ready to tackle the capital market and global expansion. Integrating 65,000 young Emiratis into the private workforce, and this is through the Emiratization policy, which is regulated by the Ministry of Human Resources, to enable Emiratis to join the workforce in the private sector and equalizing it through the government and public and private sector. Launching Dubai's unified license as a unique commercial identity for all companies over the Dubai. Here we're talking about one license, one registrar, and then you have seamless operation of business in the free zones and in the mainland without having to worry about multiple free zones available in Dubai. Launching Sandbox Dubai to allow testing and commercializing of new technologies and making Dubai as a major innovation hub. This is true because DIFC has started this as a technology license, technology testing license through a regulatory sandbox, which was offered by DFSA, which is the regulatory body of DIFC. So now the same concept is going to be replicated in the mainland. And sixth, and the last, launching a program to attract the world's best universities, making Dubai a global destination for education system. And of course, tackling these ambitious plans and strategies, it requires a solid foundation in terms of education. When it comes to UAE market, a couple of things I would like to tap onto. Dubai is a global hub for MICE industry, meetings, incentives, conventions, and exhibitions. There are 400 events is going to take place by 2025, and these are some of links that I'm providing for your kind attention for viewing Dubai's calendar of events, and then also Abu Dhabi calendar of events, as you can see here. And then when it comes to incubation or startup ecosystem, some of incubators are well known in the UAE, such as N5, which is an incubator part of TCOM Business Parks. Astrolab is a tech incubator available within the Dubai DMCC free zone. And then FinTech Hive, which is, of course, the incubator for FinTech solutions in the DIFC. Man Social Incubator, it is considered a social enterprise incubator for Abu Dhabi government. And AIC, which is a business incubator in the academia level, which is American University in Dubai. And I myself as one of the founding members of the academia incubator. So therefore, and then Shira also is a tech incubator in Sharjah. So these are some of examples of incubators that is available and they are behind the thriving sector of entrepreneurship and also startup ecosystem. I'm sharing my LinkedIn profile here for you to scan, and thank you for your time, and I will be able for questions here.
Thank you very much. Our third speaker this afternoon is Julia Onslow-Cole, who's a partner in Frogmore. Frogmore is recognized as one of the world's leaders in providing strategic immigration advice to governments, individuals, and the corporates. So, Julia.
Thank you. As Edward says, I'm partner of Fragment, which is a worldwide firm providing specialist immigration advice. We have over 600 lawyers working for us all around the world. And I'm really pleased to say that today we've been joined by Murtaza Khan, who's our regional leader, and a number of our partners from all over the Middle East, including Azim Hoddin and from Qatar, and Ayaa Gadad, who's the head of our DIFC UAE office. So we assist between us hundreds and hundreds of entrepreneurs, and also we advise governments on how to create a system for immigration that is very sympathetic to inward investment and particularly entrepreneurs. And I myself spend half my time on these consulting projects for governments in the Middle East. I've always felt that to be a true entrepreneur, you've got to have a real element of fearlessness about what you do, and you really need to sort of be willing to lose everything in the pursuit of your endeavors. My best friend, her husband, is a serial entrepreneur. He's had a variety of companies, all of which involve leading-edge technology solutions in different areas. And I know of 3 occasions where she was heartbroken to find she'd been returned from work and she was walking towards her then home to find a for sale board outside. And then she found out that he'd forgot to tell her that he needed to sell the house for the next stage of funding of that entrepreneurial project. But if you look at the 3 most famous entrepreneurs in modern time, Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, and Steve Jobs, they all have that same fearlessness. And all over the world, there are millions of entrepreneurs. And when you look at Steve Jobs, he was actually fired from Apple in 1985. And a lot of people, if they had been fired in that way, might not have carried on. But he saw this as a huge personal failing on his part. He never let this failure define him or hold him back. And he returned to Apple in 1997 and revolutionized the company with the iPod and then the iPhone. So when you're a government and you're thinking about entrepreneurs, what can you do apart from trying to reduce their very high levels of stress and potential to being burnt out? So I think there's about 4 real key things that makes a really good landscape for attracting entrepreneurs. The first is ensuring that intellectual property rights for products are fit for purpose, that you have an environment which is supportive from banks and investors, that you help entrepreneurs find the right business model, and also that you find the right talent to work in, which includes immigration, but also upskilling your resident labour. And in the UK, I think they've been very successful, the governments over time, in creating that very attractive framework. And you see that in patents. So under the European patent legislation, if you actually register your patent in the UK, it's the best place to register that patent, even better than if you did it, for example, in Germany. There are multiple taxation incentives, there's very good employment laws, and freedom of expression is protected by the UK Constitution in statute and in common law. And we've heard from Ayman about all of the incentives and the framework in the UAE, which I think are absolutely excellent. And you see, as well as Ayman has explained, in the UAE in particular, again, tax benefits, the free zones, an amazing immigration system. And we're seeing this not just in the UAE, but really across the Middle East. And I think that another thing that we also see, which is so important for entrepreneurs, is the role of universities. And this morning, at the summit, I was talking to Beenish Lukman. She's an amazingly young entrepreneur who's a co-founder and CEO of this business which works on precision-based biofertilizers. And she won an award there was just 200 startups in the UK, and she won one of the awards for one of these startups. And she has a lot of support from Cambridge University. And I see through my work in the Middle East that universities are being really encouraged and promoted across the Middle East to help startups, and also the government are actually intervening to ensure that universities in the Middle East are creating the right courses so that the resident labour who want to go there, or young people who are born in those countries, can really make sure that they have the right skills. I think that with the advent of generative AI systems, it's even more important that countries are really questioning how can they encourage an environment for entrepreneurs. And although a huge proportion of startup businesses fail, if you go back to those 3 influential entrepreneurs of modern times and you look at their companies, Microsoft, Apple, and Amazon, it really must be a worthwhile endeavour to go out to seek to attract them.
Well, our final panellist is Ayaa Gadad, Head of Business Development and Strategy at the Al Sahl Group. They're a Libyan-headquartered company that advises on business and corporate strategy, new business development, scenario planning, business modelling, innovation strategy, transformation and turnaround. Over to you.
Thank you. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, esteemed delegates, and valued attendees. I stand before you today not just Ayyaa Gadad from Al Sahl Group, but as someone who's walked the vibrant streets of Tripoli, witnessing firsthand the untapped market and potential dynamic spirit of Libya. Our journey at Al Sahl Group mirrors the dynamic and evolving environment of Libya's market. We have navigated through challenges and seized opportunities, reflecting our commitment to growth and adaptability in a rapidly changing world. Our path has been one of turning challenges into milestones of success. In Libya, we've seen a shift from reliance on imports to developing robust self-sufficiency in food and building materials. This transition, a part of our national journey, has been pivotal for Al Sahl Group, exemplifying our resilience and strategic foresight. This achievement in Libya is just not about meeting local needs, but it's also about enhancing our global presence. We're proud to contribute to stronger economic ties and regional cooperation. Considering Libya's strategic location, abundant resources, and emerging markets, these elements position it as a gateway to unprecedented growth. It's not just about recognizing this potential, but actively pursuing it. This resilience in overcoming challenges sets the stage for an ever-gracing opportunity that lies ahead. Our vision has been our guiding star, to harness potential wherever we find it. This vision has driven our investments in advanced facilities, market access, enabling us to make significant strides in various sectors, including agriculture, gas and oil services, and healthcare. Now let's address the question that's often asked: what's the key in investing in futures? Our answer is simple yet profound: invest in vision. Vision that sees beyond the immediate gains to enduring impact. It's this very vision that has driven Al Sahl Group to be a leader in Libya's business landscape. Our future hinges on collaboration and creativity. We're committing to nurturing top-tier talent, fostering innovation, and imagining a future where growth isn't just a goal for Al Sahl Group, but it's a shared aspiration. As we look forward to a future brimming with potential, Al Sahl Group stands at the forefront of exciting transformation in Libya. Our vision isn't just to drive growth within our borders, but to lead it as a beacon of innovation as prosperity in the region. And we welcome those who wish to join us in this aspiring journey, a journey that goes beyond business. It's a journey of vision and transformation. And also, I would like to draw your attention to the screen and show you a video of this journey. Thank you.
Thank you. I prepared a question really aimed at each of our panelists just to try and draw them out a little bit more. But also, could I say to them all, if you'd all like to join in the same question, please do, because it always makes it much more fun if more than one person answers the question. And my first one, I'd like to start with you, Lolade, right from the beginning. Are there any benefits from having an electronic travel authorization as opposed to having electronic visa waivers, and how do they compare?
Right, okay. I think the way to look at it, the EVW, electronic visa waiver, is basically what it is. If you're a visa national, you're just applying for a waiver to travel for that trip. A number of differences. EVW, the visa waiver, is only for each trip. So every time a national from the Gulf states travel currently to come to the UK will have to apply for that, and that EVW is valid only for that trip. Comparably, ETA is for multiple journeys over a 2-year period or until the expiration of the passport within which one applies with. So take, for example, someone coming from Dubai, coming with an EVW into the UK, and you want to nip over to Paris to do some shopping. On your way back, you need to get another EVW. But now when you become ETA national, that ETA covers multiple trips into the UK. And then it's much cheaper. It's £10 for the 2-year period. EVW is £30 per trip. And even more importantly is that ETA is a digital product. We talked about the vision of where we want to get to a position whereby everyone will be processed using some form of automation on arrival into the UK. ETA is a key stepping stone towards getting to that vision where you can then apply, you have a digital status, and then we can use automation instead of the individual getting to see a border force officer every time. Thank you.
We also want to join in? Because I think this is one of the most exciting things, because I spent years trying to get people to invest money into this country from the Gulf. And it was the one thing that everybody always had a moan at me about, saying, we are fed up having to go through your system of queuing up at the borders and queuing for a very long time sometimes. Yeah. So this is absolutely great news for the UK. So I'm sorry if I sound over-enthusiastic about this, but I've had my ear bent for far too long by far too many people in the Gulf.
And that's right, but just to say one thing, I'm not trying to dampen the enthusiasm. Immediately, ETA allows the nationals to come into the UK. It does not mean you use the e-gate straight away, but that is our direction of travel. However, we've launched with Qatar now, became ETA travel window opened on the 15th, and even the processing has been so much quicker from the feedback we're getting, so that is the direction of travel.
Yeah, the actual the Home Office statistic was that originally it was taking like 3 days, but it will go down to 30 minutes. So, I mean, it just shows you how quick it will become.
Yeah, it is. And even in the last two, since 25th of October, we've been live. We've processed, I don't have the last figure, but well over 2,000 applications. All of them have been processed within hours, nothing
Yes.
in days.
Yeah, it's amazing.
We've said 3 days just to be in the early days as we kick off.
Thank you. Well, can I move on to you, Ayman, if I may? Tell us why. What sort of industries and business sectors are thriving today in Dubai? Which were the ones that have the great success? And are these the same ones who've all collected their golden visas en route? And,
Great question. And in Dubai and in the UAE in general, because of the government initiatives, it makes certain sectors thriving in the economy. So therefore, today, as of now, we have the property sector is booming until today. As a matter of fact, a week ago, and I read the news that Dubai Land Department has witnessed significant value transactions over 1 week time, being $3.1 billion of property sale, and that is remarkable, achievement. Second, UAE and Dubai specifically very famous for the service industry. We're talking about professional services, logistics, and so forth. It's one of the driving sectors behind the UAE economy. Third, we have a travel and tour sector, which is why Dubai is playing an important role as a tourist destination in the region. And then the last sector, which is very powerful, the hospitality. And these are some of sectors that is keeping well in terms of the performance and the agility and coping up after the pandemic time. So therefore, this is basically what are, in a nutshell, the sectors that are very strong, and you can see the immense performance there.
Thank you. Anybody else want to join in on any comments? Well, can I then, in that case, move on to you, Julia? We heard a little bit about from Lolade what the British government is doing to make it easier to come here. What do you think are the things that Arab countries need to do to attract entrepreneurs? What else should they do? And do you think there is a lot of interest in the Gulf for entrepreneurs, or do you think this is just lip service?
Yeah, no. I think that governments in the Middle East are really trying, and just sticking to immigration, which is obviously what I advise on. I think, first of all, it's really important to have a wide business visitor rule, so you allow people to come into countries quite easily and look at business opportunities, because one of the difficulties is that people sometimes find it difficult to just get a short-term temporary visa to just assess what the opportunities are. And then, for example, if you look at the UAE, there's a multitude of different categories that you could come in under. There's obviously, one of the flagship things is a golden visa for people who are not just startups, but maybe in a scale-up position. And the timings for a turnaround of a golden visa are really, really impressive. You could obtain one in a matter of days. It's very, very impressive. And if you look at Saudi, there is the temporary work visa, which is having some, has a few teething problems, but the Saudi government is actually looking and revisiting premium residency. I think everyone really in the whole region is rethinking their immigration landscape and looking at ways that entrepreneurs can, in a very fast way, get into a country, explore opportunities, and then if they want to then set up, have something that's really supportive to that.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, I'm going to move on then to you, Ayyaa. You represent a big corporate. What can big corporates do to help entrepreneurs?
Sorry, what was that? I couldn't hear.
What can big corporates like yours do to help entrepreneurs?
I think what they could do is encourage others to join them in the journey of making, a better place, offering opportunities and not just making it, centered. And I think that's been a big part of our success in Libya, is that we didn't just have this journey ourselves. We actually succeeded because of entrepreneurs and people that helped us along this path.
Thank you. Well, I'm afraid I'm getting signals that we have to wind up. So I think I have several more questions I could ask, but I think better not, because I think we'll be unpopular with the organisers. So thank you very much for listening, and could I thank the panel for their insights and their information. Thank you. Thank you.